So it's like 3 seconds, right? I was timing all of my attempts earlier, and I took the best attempt that I had and just made that the baseline, right? It took about 29 seconds from load in to getting to the movement spot. But on average, out of like 10 to 12 attempts, only one of those would actually be like the full time save, and the rest of them would be like a 31 or a 32, which would lose like a couple seconds or at worst not save any time. And that was like more than half of them, or about half of them, and the other half was slower because I would just get mauled by the NPCs. And so I was sitting there and I was looking at all the numbers and I was like, okay, do I take the risk on going for that strat out of like 1 out of 12 are actually going to work out just based on kind of what I'm pulling with my RNG stuff? Doing well. Happy to hear about the D-Rest run that didn't open a PB. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, it was sick. The 105, right? Pretty huge. We've had a few people that have been like kind of in that same time area here lately. I think it was Kid and Mini Fairy and now you as well. And they had both got to sub 1 hour after, you know, a little bit of time. It wasn't too super long. It wasn't very long ago that they did that either. So I'm believing in the sub hour. If we were taking bets, which I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'd put my life savings on it. So no pressure. Yeah, no, I understand that. Sometimes you gotta know when it's best to take your dub for the day and move on, you know? Yeah. I always like to have like a very achievable goal and then like a secret, much more difficult long-term goal. That's what I do almost anytime I tackle a category. So if you feel like an hour is definitely possible, you should make like your super secret goal like, I don't know, like a sub 50 or something. Give you something to work for. That's just if you're interested though. Not everybody is as like goal driven as me, I suppose. What's up, Rubik's? Yeah, you got here just in time, man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the GL. That's a good thing, though. In my experience, it's good to not overindulge when you have the itch to play. You should honestly stretch that out. Like, you should play and then leave yourself wanting more at the end, because if you keep playing until you get to the point of you don't want to play anymore, gradually that will become an association. As someone who has had multiple hobbies that I've done that with on many different occasions, and I have to take extended, like, little breaks until I finally learn how to, like, manage it. Because everyone thinks it's just like a 24/7 grind to get where you want to go, but it's just not sustainable to do that, especially not if it's something that you don't make, like, a living on. If you're, like, I use this analogy a lot, but, like, professional sports players, it makes sense if they're on the grind 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but even then, the way that they can improve what they do is varied. They can do, like, different types of exercise. They can do actual game practice. They can do team practice. They can do solo practice. Like, they can do so many things to improve at their sport. And that kind of variety, I think, lends to less burnout. But they also get paid like millions of dollars, depending on the sport you're talking about, right? We're just doing this for fun. And I think you can get really steady improvement, not like grinding 6 hours a day every day. You know what I mean? Many people have done it before and had like tons and tons of success. It's all about like your goals, what you want to accomplish and stuff like that. But anyway, I think it's good advice to like play right up until you feel yourself starting to like burn out, even just for the day. Leave yourself wanting more, because then, in my opinion, that will prevent you from like reaching a burnout as quickly. It doesn't mean it's a foolproof method of avoiding burnout, but I think it helps personally. And I think sometimes it's like your brain trying to convey to you that, like, hey, I've taken in a ton of information today and a ton of stimulus. I kind of just need you to chill for a little while and let me, like, ruminate on all this stuff you've been filling me with. Mental fatigue is real. Which, honestly, that's one of the reasons I really love the desert roll jump segment in this run. You just get to, like, unload all of your focus. Like, you don't have to stay locked into the desert roll jumps or anything like that. You just kind of, like, unwind for a minute, prep yourself for the actual, like, difficult parts of the run, and you're not just completely dialed in for, like, a full, 22 straight minutes or whatever. To me, it has a nice flow. Because it's not really like 7 minutes of roll jumping anyway. In all reality, it's only like a handful. Oh, that's unfortunate. I just misspaced my spin. Yeah, self-care is incredible for improvement. Turns out if you just like beat yourself over the head to try to improve, you only get so far. Been there, done that. Doesn't mean it doesn't get results in the short term, but if you're thinking long term, you got to take inventory. Figure out how best to balance your life. And that goes for so many things, not just in this, Like speedrunning in particular, you can apply that to, gosh, a ton of things. Now, some things you can't apply it nearly as much to because of societal constraints, like work and things like that, unfortunately. But with that, you just got to do the best you can do. I also would recommend learning how to breathe, unironically. Like from your stomach, from your diaphragm. I would recommend getting a full night's rest every night, if you can. And drinking water. Do those 3 things, your quality of life will skyrocket. It's crazy. No, I'm right there with you, Rubik's. Like, I have learned a type of emotional regulation from speedrunning that I may not have learned otherwise because I wouldn't have cared to. Like, I just perform better if I keep myself calm in speedrunning, right? Instead of, like, getting tilted and stuff like that. And I, just as a person, would rather be pleasant to be around, for example, at work, than somebody who just gets, like, mad over, like, dumb stuff that really doesn't matter all that much. But I used to, like, be a lot more hot-headed, at work especially. And, man, you're a better person to be around when you can just, like, kind of control your outbursts, Even if you get aggravated, you don't have to, like, let it out. Not saying bottle your emotions, but there's, like, coping mechanisms, You don't have to, like, feed into it. Okay, let me see here. Nice. Diaphragm's important, dog. You gotta breathe through that bad boy. Nice, deep breaths. Deep from the gut. I'm right there with you, dude. I get embarrassed whenever I get mad. And that makes me more mad. A lot of times. Like, I hate it even on stream. Like, if I lose a run and I, like, even just, like, express the emotion of frustration and don't immediately bounce back from it, I start getting a little embarrassed because I'm like, oh man, people are going to think I'm, like, raging. But people can't, like, feel what I'm feeling in the moment either, you know what I mean? They just see how I'm acting. So a lot of times if you just control your outburst and try to simmer down, people aren't going to think you're probably as mad as you feel, you know what I mean? That's a tough one. Hey, what's up, Nuke? Thanks for the GL. Hope you're doing well. I agree. You just need to... And I don't think there's anything inherently bad about being a bit more hot-tempered by nature, because again, it's all emotional regulation. It's not suppression. You just need to be able to, like, assess the moment, be like, is this really worth having an outburst over? All that kind of stuff. And we're just people, I think, Sometimes you just have an outburst and you need to be like, wow, that was embarrassing. I'm sorry anybody had to see that. I'm gonna try to not do that anymore, but oh well. It happened this time. You know. Yeah, what's up, Recon? How you doing, man? Hope you're well. How you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Think we got a chance?
I sure hope so, Mr. Havengard. I sure hope we have a chance. That was one of the super fast hoverbike glitches of all time. Very meh, but it wasn't. A million degrees with both windows open. No. I'm sorry. That sounds miserable.
I got him!
Oh, things are happening to the camera. I think I did, actually. And I do it every time, and then I act surprised. Like I have no idea that it's there. I just forget. That should be good, and if it's not, I'm gonna be disappointed. What's up, just look around. Hope you're doing well. I should save a smidgen of time here. Just a wee bit. Or all gold. Okay. I'll take it. That was going to be a nightmare if I stayed on the jet board. That was a career decision. Get off. Come on. You bum. Now we want side flip. No, it's falling apart. It's awful. What an awful ruins. But at least I made it through. That's something to be happy about. Oof. Ruins, enjoyers, and shambles. I'm sorry. But again, at least I didn't, like, completely choke it. It was just a mess. Whoa, it like ate my jump, you bum. Dude, I'm landing on so much crap terrain right now. Stop. I'm hitting all the wrong things. So Small Ice, thank you for the GL. Finished your first Jack 200 run the other night? Yeah, I thought I saw you had posted the split snook. That's awesome.
Duck precursors.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, Zed? How's it going, man? Yeah, unfortunately, slow BTR there because of the terrain issues early on, but yeah, at least we're ahead. Haven, great. Ruins, cheeks. BTR, meh. Hopefully the rest of it will be really good. Because obviously we're still very, like, in PB range here. I don't realistically think that a 21 can still happen. If a miracle were to occur, probably. But I'd have to, like, match my gold just about on everything after this, and I'm about guaranteed to lose time off my gold in sub-rails because it was like a 1 in a million unicorn sub-rails. Same with my final boss. But I can still get like a good time. I can gold dark shit by a few seconds as well, so. Oh, that wasn't awful. Okay. That was a little slow. Shoutouts to George for telling me at one point you didn't have to jump through the door to circle attack. All you had to do was just press circle. Because otherwise I would have missed that. Thank you for the raid, Renporo. Hope you're doing well. Nice. Doing open goal no test, but my internet's struggling, so I decided to stop. I feel you. Hope you're having fun. Thank you for the GL. We are on PB pace right now. Going into the last couple splits here. I say PB pace, this is still... It still says that like my best possible time is sub 21, but I'm telling you guys, it would take a miracle. Quit a little early, but it's fine. I hate that I messed up the climb. Dude, why did you spawn so late? What a bum. Yeah, Terraformer is, it's a level. That cycle that I got is not uber consistent, unfortunately, because of the strictness of the timing. But it went well, thankfully. have shot that too early. Alright, the guy actually spawned in a timely manner. Okay, he was about at the base. Plenty of nuke ammo. We just have to hope that I get laser skip. I've definitely lost time on this boss already, just because of that one late spawn and the mess up and climb. But I think we're still in the range where we can get like a small PB. It won't be major, but it's better than nothing. But I have to get lucky with laser skip. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Of course, the enemies all just decide to spawn in like the worst configuration imaginable. There it went. Man, it sucks. Well, we take those, I guess. Before we get crazy, that's a cool frame to pause on. I've never paused on that frame. Before we get crazy, I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to frame time this real quick.